So my first guest is someone that my mom, who's watching right now, for years, she has said, if you ever have a co-host, this person needs to be your co-host. Jane Krakowski, because Jane and I, Jane filled in on the Today Show when I was on the show, and my mom would call me after saying, y'all were so funny together. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Well, listen, but Jane is much bigger than it. I love her because here's the deal. She sings, she dances, she's been on Broadway, TV, movies, comedy, drama. There is nothing she cannot do. And through heart and hustle and natural talent, Jane earned 5 Emmy nominations for her scene-stealing roles. Jenna Maroney in 30 Rock and Jacqueline White in the beloved Netflix comedy, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So the Golden Globe-nominated actress is back for season 2 of the hit musical comedy Schmigadoon on Apple TV+. It is such a great show. This series follows modern-day New Yorkers as they stumble upon a fantasy land of the past that parodies musicals from the 60s and 70s. Jane plays Bobby Flanagan, a lawyer who uses all, see how I changed, a lawyer, who uses all her charm to get all of the attention in the courtroom and everywhere else. Here's a peek.
Clearly, we're in the next era of musicals here.
Do we shock you?
These musicals are darker, with more sex.
Oh, yeah.
And violence.
Well, you gotta be kidding me.
How are we supposed to make a happy ending here? These musicals don't have happy endings.
Sounds like someone needs a lesson in the power of happiness. Who wants to get naked?
What I need is a lawyer.
Once I've worked my magic, no jury will ever convict your hubby, even if he kills again.
Josh didn't do it.
Please welcome 5-time Emmy-nominated and Tony Award-winning actress, Jane Krakowski. Thank you. I love you. There you go. Have a seat. Oh, hey, co-host. How are you? Listen,
So
okay.
wonderful to be here, Tamron.
It's so good to have you with Willie Geist, who's still one of my beloved friends. That was a time.
We had the best time.
The best time.
Yeah.
And Jane gave me a gift that to this day, every Christmas, I don't know if you remember this gift. I have it because it was in 2015 I've been wearing this. She gave me Christmas pajamas. But wait, with my name on the butt. There I am. Every Christmas, your name, well, my name that you gave me is stamped on my behind.
And
That's how close we are.
And I have a matching set at home with my name on it.
You do? Oh, my gosh.
I thought it'd be awkward if I put your name on mine.
Well, oh, yeah, that would be, but I would still go with it. You upgraded from me, hanging out with all these great people, Keegan-Michael Keel, Cecily Strong, Ariana DeBose, Kristen Chenoweth,
people.
Martin Short, Titus Burgess. I mean, you're keeping great company over here.
I love this show, and I'm so excited that it is airing starting tomorrow night on Apple TV+. It just combines my favorite worlds, right? It's my world of comedy television and musical theater, and they put it all together, and it airs on Apple TV+. So.
This season, it takes a darker turn. You're looking at, like, the Broadway musicals like Chicago and Sweeney Todd.
The sexy ones that I love.
The sexy ones. Cabaret.
Yeah, we're now in the musicals of the 60s and 70s. We cover like Cabaret, Chicago, the ones you mentioned. There's a little bit of Annie in there, Sweeney Todd. It's a fantastical farrago, as we say in the show.
Fantastical farrago. Do you know how long it took me to say Schmigadoon and now you're throwing in fantastical farrago? I mean, literally. But I love the backstory of your life for so many reasons, but especially because you were the kid who would watch the Tonys like it was the Super Bowl. And you said you would VCR, back when they had VCRs, you would record the Tonys.
Yeah. I mean, that was my Super Bowl in my family household. I grew up in a very creative household. My mom was a teacher. My father was a chemical engineer by their profession, but they loved doing community theater. Oh, that's my mom and my dad.
Yes.
So instead of getting a babysitter, they would bring me along to the community theater, and it was like an education in musical theater and in theater in general, because they did plays as well.
So they were like, okay, we're gonna save money on the babysitter, and we're gonna take the kid out on the road with us. You were like 3 when you got your first role?
Well, it wasn't really necessarily my first role, because they worked there all the time, and I would just be in my crib or a stroller while they were doing it. My parents, one day I wouldn't let my mom go on stage, and so that's my parents playing the Cratchits in A Christmas Carol. And I was an unbilled Cratchit child that one performance, because I think I was crying and wouldn't let my mom go on stage, so she said, they just put that little bonnet on me and said, you're now in the show.
Like,
so
she's in show business now.
I started early.
You started early. I do know that, well, was it when you were 18? That was when you got your big break, 18 or 19?
I was, well, I got my first Broadway show at 17. I was still a senior in high school.
Oh, you were still a senior in high school at the time.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience.
Dinah, and you won a Tony. I mean, so it's like did you feel like it was a rocket ship of a career, especially because here you are a kid and you're there and you're in the energy of it, but by 17, it's showtime. You're on the big stage.
Yeah, well, I started doing commercials, and I started kind of small, like doing commercials at first. My parents would let me dabble because they knew I really wanted to do it.
Funny you say commercial. You remember the year of that commercial?
I did a lot of commercials, Tamron.
Well, I have the first one.
Oh, no.
1983, you were just a baby, and the team dug it. Why do I sound like this, like a vaudeville? And the team dug it up. Take a look. Here's the commercial.
Fox. There are like millions of them, Solar Fox. Like, what are we gonna do?
Don't worry. Solar Fox, the new video game where speed and strategy are all you have to fly through 26 changing solar fields. And if you're really fast,
Awesome.
you'll skip ahead to even tougher fields.
Really cool.
Solar Fox from CBS Electronics,
But can I drive now?
where the excitement never ends.
Nothing puts a timestamp on your life than a commercial for Atari.
It's the Atari and the hair.
Well, the hair, yeah.
You're like, okay, I know what time it was. We're talking about heart and hustle. You've talked so beautifully about your father and the inspiration that he was in your life. Where do you think the heart and hustle come from? You're a Jersey girl.
Yeah.
So once you're born in that state, you got heart and hustle. But where do you think it came from?
Oh, wow. I think that's a lot. I mean, I had such incredible support from my parents, which I just think is a gift I hope I can give to my own son, who is, almost 12. And I asked my mom recently, I said, so what was you made me feel like I had so much confidence to do whatever I wanted to try. And I asked her how she gave that to me, because it's such a gift. That's my little son. It was such a gift she gave to me. And she said, well, we just thought you were great.
Yeah.
Which is so wonderful and kind. I'm not sure how I, transfer that on, but they just were so incredibly supportive. And I think there's definitely a Jersey Strong thing.
Yeah.
I think I just had like a little chutzpah, you know?
Well, I say that because when we were doing the Today Show, you're this huge star and you're getting up at 4 or 5 a.m. coming in to do a morning show. Yes, it's a national show, but it still takes a lot for someone like yourself to say, okay, I'm going to sign up and sit next to Willie Geist and Tamron Hall for an hour, but at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I love that. The discipline of it all is what I thrive on. I mean, I love it. That's what I love about doing Broadway shows. And that I've been lucky enough to do this my whole career. Like, I don't want to do anything else. This is what I love the most. So I feel so fortunate every time I get another job that I'm nervous to do or excited to do, because I just love it. I don't want to do anything else. But I definitely thrive on the discipline. I enjoy the hard work.
I love that you said that this is what you want to do, because I never had a backup plan. People say, if you didn't do this, what would you be doing? And I said, I guess a blackjack dealer in Vegas, but I don't know how to play cards. I don't even know how to play cards, because I needed to not think of a backup plan, because if I didn't have a plan B, I was going to make this plan A work.
Right, I agree with that. I absolutely agree.
Would you like that?
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that, but I also feel like you have to have some luck along the way, too.
Yes.
You know, I think you got to be prepared when good luck comes your way.